All right, what's going on, guys? Hope your day's going well. Trying to figure out this new Apple update. My phone's been acting absolutely bananas, so I think we're live. No, I'm just kidding. I know we're live. So we're gonna dive right into 3 of my favorite drills to improve mobility in the thoracic spine, specifically gain a little bit of extension and rotation. Those 2 seem to work well together. So without further ado, hi John, good to see you, buddy. We're going to dive right into a side lying rib pull, and then we'll go into 2 other drills. So we're going to start with a side lying rib pull because it tends to be the one that most people use, but also butcher. So we're going to start. Now, we want to start in that pure side lying position, okay? We want to make sure that we have a nice straight line from the ear to the shoulder to the hip, knee and ankle. So we're going to start in pure side lying, all right? Now, we want to bring the top knee up on top of a foam roller or something that is going to allow the pelvis to be level, okay? If you come here, a lot of the times what happens is it adds a little bit of lumbar rotation, and we don't want that. What we want to do is we want to try to get some flexion on the top hip, maintain extension on the down hip, all right? It's important that this knee does come up above sort of that ASIS height, so we can hopefully lock down the lumbar spine, so when it comes time to start doing our rotations, we're not rotating from the lumbar spine. So that's the first position. Normally when we do these, the head would be down, but for camera purposes, I'm going to be speaking to you this way. The next thing we need to do is we need to talk about hand position. So it's going to be 2. The bottom hand, I just like to hook here, all right? That's perfectly fine. Ideally, we just want to make sure that this stays in the same spot. If you don't have access to a foam roller, just do this. Get this out of the way, hook it underneath, give it a little bicep curl, and just stabilize it that way. If you don't have access, this actually will work just as nicely. So the next thing we need to do is talk about the top hand. So the top hand's gonna go in the rib cage, okay? Now, before we dive into this, it's important to understand that if you see what I'm doing right here, this is not thoracic mobility. This is scapular mobility, okay? So when I do this, I'm just sliding my scapula into protraction, into retraction. Now, a lot of the times when people do a rib pull, they start doing this and they think, wow, I'm really moving. Well, you're actually not moving your thoracic spine, you're moving your scapula. So it's important to lock this down and to keep it in the same position. Now, we're gonna let breathing do the work here. That's the biggest thing people miss on this positioning is they don't breathe, they just hold their breath. So what I like to do is I get in this side lying position, get my hands where they need to be. I'm just gonna start by breathing in, and then I'm gonna exhale and, okay? I'm gonna only go as far as my breath will take me. And then from there, and we're just gonna basically cycle breaths, okay? Try to relax into it and make sure that you're fully exhaling and relaxing. You can use a little bit of a pull from the top hand to assist you into that positioning. It's completely cool. Just remember, breathing is going to allow you to gain range of motion, specifically on the exhalation. Once you exhale, try to peel open, find a spot, re-breath, so on and so forth. So one of the things that I'm doing when I teach this now is I give people breaths, not reps. And that seems to make a huge difference. So the next one I'm gonna show you is one of my favorites. I actually put this together recently. I was starting to dive into a little bit more crooked arm bars, bent presses, and I was just a little jammed up on my left side, so rotating to the left. So I was thinking of all the different T-spine drills that I had learned through, SFMA, FMS, etc. And then I came up with this, and I had some guinea pigs in the gym try it, and they seemed to like it. So we're going to start sort of in the quadruped position into that lumbar lock position. So we're going to rock all the way back. Okay, so when you do this, the camera's going to be reversed, but you'll get an idea what I'm talking about. So this is going to be a T-spine mode to the left. I'm going to take my right hand, and I'm actually going to rock back, and this is going to grab underneath the ankle. So I'll actually pull the pant leg up so you can see what I'm talking about. We're still going to be in plantar flexion, hand's going to go underneath, okay? And that's going to be a nice grip in this position, all right? This is going to allow me to get some leverage and rotation. Once we're here, my head's gonna actually go to the ground. Now, if you have cervical issues, this is not recommended. For me, someone that does jiu-jitsu, my head's on the mat all the time, so it's not a biggie. So from here, my head's gonna go to the ground, all right? I prefer to put this opposing arm into internal rotation. That's just a preference. Some people, if that bothers them, you can go across the chest, or if you wanna go into external rotation, that's fine. I prefer internal. So, hand's gonna go back, I'm gonna set the scapula, and first thing I'm gonna do is take a big breath in. I'm gonna exhale, and when I exhale, I'm gonna pull here on my leg to get leverage and gain rotation. And again, breathing. Breathe in. So the magic is through the fact that we can stabilize the lumbar spine by rocking back. We can get some leverage by holding on to the bottom leg here, and then we gain rotation. So again, let the breathing do the work for you, and then you can go from there. Lastly, I'm gonna show you a drill that I learned from Greg Rose at the last Perform Better Summit. This is fantastic, probably the most effective T-spine drill. I added a couple things to it that I found that helped, but you're gonna get the idea. This is not mine. Again, totally stole it from Greg Rose at the last Perform Better. We're gonna be in a seated position. Feet are going to be elevated. Now, I like to bring both hips a little bit higher than hip flexion. I find that just allowed myself and my clients to lock the lumbar spine down. All right? Now, let me just grab a foam roller because that will help. So I'm here, just a little bit of tension on the foam roller. Now, the dowel's gonna be behind my back, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate in one direction. Okay, once I feel like I'm stuck, I'm gonna perform a side bend. Once I'm in this side bend, I do a diaphragmatic breath. Then I come back up to tall, and then I open up in that same direction. Okay? Once I'm at the end range, side bend, cycle of breath, come up tall, and then ratchet open again, and repeat the process. So the key on that, guys, is you're gonna rotate, you're gonna go into the side bend. Once you get into the side bend, cycle of breath, come back up the tall, rotate again, and repeat the process. So if there's anything that I found with improving mobility in the thoracic spine is breathing. If you're not pairing the breathing with the movement, it's not gonna go as well. So guys, really, really simple stuff for today. Take those 3 drills, hit them before you do your get-ups, your kettlebell work, anything upper body related, and hopefully you have some success with it. As always, guys, appreciate it. If you like it, share, and we'll talk to you soon.